Hey, it's Wednesday, it's noon hour, so we must be live. We've chosen not to do an interview this week because I want to make some announcements that are really, really important to myself, but also to those people who suffer in silence with trauma. And I don't know where to start. This is really ad hoc, ad lib, so I'm just going to go, right? Everybody that watches this will know somebody who's been traumatized. All of us do. Could be a friend, could be a family member, could be a first responder, could be a military member, could be a frontline healthcare worker, could be someone who works for the Ministry of Children and Families in your area. All of these people see and experience so much that so many of them have trauma. Now, the truth of the matter, or the bigger issue, is our current medical, especially our psychotherapy system, just doesn't seem to have a really good grasp on how to help people heal trauma. In fact, the industry seems to be making it a problem that's difficult, if not impossible, to heal. Now, you and I both know that when a person's struggling with trauma, they do not thrive. They suffer. And because they suffer, the people around them who are closest to them, they suffer. Children, family members. And then ultimately the community suffers. We lose valuable people from our society. So I want you to imagine just for a moment that the world is at a juncture, at a place in time where trauma is unrefutably an injury that can heal. The science, the research, everything proves that. And not only is trauma an injury that can heal, it can heal really, really, really fast. Really fast. Not months, not years, not decades, literally weeks. That's the world we live in. That's what the research is saying today. So I've been in this industry 11 years now, but my trauma happened over 30 years ago. In fact, almost 45 now. And I can't put my finger on the first traumatic event. Maybe it was an adverse childhood experience. The literature says those of us who have unresolved adverse childhood experiences are more susceptible as adults to being traumatized. So I don't know where mine started. But I do know that in the 90s, I was a train wreck. I came home from the Middle East. I was diagnosed as having depression. I was put on Zoloft. Zoloft and I didn't, not Zoloft, I apologize, Prozac. Prozac was the drug du jour in 1990. And my wife had gone to our family doctor and said, Alan's not right. The family doctor said, here, you take Prozac. He had put his daughter on it. They were giving Prozac out like Smarties. Prozac and I did not dance well together, right? It took the highs out, it took the lows out, it took life away. I was living in this horrible place. So what I did is I put Prozac next to my razor in the medicine cabinet, and every morning while I was shaving and brushing my teeth, I did this to Prozac. I took a different tact. I went out, and every Wednesday, I was self-employed at the time. Every Wednesday I went out and I went skiing at Whistler, high altitude, bright sunlight, endorphins. I also started studying NLP. Before I got through my trauma though, I was the quintessential trauma person. I was hyper-vigilant, hyper-aware. What they call flash to bang, trigger to response was instantaneous and dangerous. I had nightmares, what are called holographic or hypnagogic nightmares, where I was right in the thick of it, right in the action. I'd have to get up and do something. I'd be in motion. I'm 190 pounds. I'd grab my wife by the wrist. She was 135 pounds, and I would run. So imagine being woken up in the middle of the night out of a sound sleep, being dragged through the house because your husband is afraid or thinks something else is happening. So this went on for a long period of time. I thought everybody had 4 or 5 nightmares. Right? This is the early 90s, 4 or 5 nightmares every week. So today I'm 70 years old. I sleep like a baby. I'm fit, strong, healthy. I fall asleep in seconds, 90 seconds, maximum 2 minutes. I sleep through the night 7.5 hours. I don't take any medications. Well, that's kind of a fib. I take lots of medications, over-the-counter vitamins and nutritional supplements. Why do I tell you that story? Because I proved it to myself that trauma is an injury that can heal. And then I went on an 11-year journey to understand why the techniques that work. And why do some people heal and some don't? And that brings us to the juncture we're in today. We now know the neuroscience that works when it works, unequivocally. And the brilliant part is today, in this moment in time, most of the people who have symptoms of post-traumatic stress, of unresolved trauma, can have their symptoms ameliorated with an online app. And there's the big announcement. Before January 28th, Healing from Trauma is going mobile. We will be releasing the most comprehensive app ever released. It has psychometric assessments in it, pre and post. It has 8 weeks of a program to ameliorate the symptoms of trauma. We will be recording people's sleep patterns. We will be gathering all sorts of data so we understand how healing happens. After people complete the 8-week program, we'll be continually putting in more content for them to manage their emotional states in case something else comes up in their life. We'll be putting educational pieces in there. Certainly people who have been traumatized for a long time need to work on some other skills. It may be relationship skills, it may be career skills, so we'll be adding those modules. But again, the key piece here is that we now know that the bulk of people can ameliorate the symptoms of unresolved trauma, the primary one being able to sleep, but all the hyper-awareness, hyper-vigilance, and all the chemistry that happens inside your body because of that, and all the physical manifestations of unresolved trauma can be ameliorated. Now, Gabor Mate says that all physical and mental dis-ease come from unresolved trauma. He's clear. Everything chronic has a connection to unresolved trauma. So we're excited to be offering this app in the new year. We'll keep you posted. If you want more information in it, our man's going to have a link in the show notes here. You can click on it, book a conversation, or become part of the team that assesses the app and its veracity and helps roll it out to the millions who need it. All right, and we're going to do this this conversation over and over and over again. This is probably the biggest conversation of my life. I'm so excited. Again, before January 28th, trauma healing is going mobile. I'd like to see you guys online.